Vijay, I wonder, are you having similar trouble finding bargains in this environment?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Carl. I think definitely 2022 should be another good year for semis. I would be more selective, definitely, as you mentioned. I think the spaces we like are memory, like Micron and Western Digital, but also the handset names. I think Qualcomm, as you mentioned, Broadcom, they're both should have pretty good solid years as you go into 2022 again, and also Skyworks. But that said, not just semi names, but if you look at the EV names we cover, Rivian, Tesla, you mentioned before in the prior segment, should all have pretty strong, outstanding years going into 2022. And lastly, don't forget the capital spending beneficiaries. The supply is so tight. You're seeing supply coming on, capacity being added everywhere. So the capital spending beneficiaries would be Applied Materials, Lam Research, and so all those guys. And we continue like on semiconductor as well, on semi, Allegro, Micro. These names are over-indexed to the EV side, electric vehicle side, and so they will be beneficiaries as you go into 2022. So,
yeah, that's a lot to take in, what you just gave us. I wonder how you prioritize between the chip makers, the CapEx players, and the EVs. I mean, can you put them on some kind of ladder?
Absolutely. So I think the way we are looking at it, the memory space, Micron, WD, are not seeing any supply come on as you go into 2022, so they'll be beneficiaries. And the electric vehicle supply chain is benefiting because there's a massive portfolio shift globally to electric vehicles, so they will continue to benefit in 2022. Where we will be more selective are the analog automotive suppliers, because we think they probably over-earned in 2020, 2021. You saw massive gross margin expansion. And we think as supply starts to come on the analog side, some of those names, SPI, Microchip, might start to see more supply come on, more pricing pressures. Some of the benefits that they have seen in the last 2 years start to maybe become a headwind into 22. So we would definitely pivot more into areas where the structural tailwinds like electrification, but also names where there's really no supply coming on, especially like the memory names. And an automatic beneficiary also would be the capital spending guys. So.
Talking about earlier in the show, Apple making their own chips, how that was a big theme of 2021. Google made their Tensor chip. What are you seeing in 2022 as the traditional chip makers respond to that? What do you see as the outlook there?
Yeah, I think it's fair to assume that at some point Apple would start to pull in some of the RF component supply chain in-house, but we see that really 2 to 3 years out, which is much farther than investment horizon for many of the asset managers, right? So I think in the near term, the next 12 to 18 months, we still expect to see pretty strong upside for names like Qualcomm, Broadcom, Skyworks, etc. As the iPhone 14 starts to come on next year as well. But again, names like Qualcomm have really de-risked the model. They have really given out to investors an assumption that their exposure to Apple will be substantially reduced. So we continue to see that supply chain benefit into next year, given some of them have been trading in a very flat range this year. So.